Hey, everybody, it's CJ Graham, Jason Voorhees. That's right, Friday the 13th, Part 6. And you're listening to the scenesnobs.com.
Scram, McFly. We're checking out the Scene Snobs.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
Who do I have to hire to write me that song?
I don't know. I think we know some people.
We probably, well, I don't know. I'm still trying. Well, John Wass said he would probably help with the musical.
We still got to push the musical. We got to push the musical, bro. It's got to be next year's big show.
That was so amazing. I have a few things in store for next year, and I think you'll like them. But I'm going to tell you off screen.
Oh, well, that's even more enticing.
They don't get to know until it happens.
We love secrets here.
Aha. Well, we love surprises.
Yes, we call them surprises.
The biggest surprise being, welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast, everybody.
We're live right now.
We are live. And I am your host, Mick Manhattan. I'm of the Irish variety tonight as my counterpart.
Le Madman.
Yeah, I'm going to let you do it.
Le Madman, que c'est plot. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. It's nice to be here this evening. Yes, you look so beautiful, all of you. There's a Paul Dunn. There's a Chris Sales. I love the Mick Manhattan. You look like I order you on a menu somewhere and be so tasty. I love it. Yes, it's delightful.
Well, I told, remember Dan, gal from...
of course, Master Shake, bro.
I know Master Shake, but I'm not saying the whole title. That was like 700 words, and I can't do it. I love you, Dan. His brother Tim, of course, being on the show last week. He makes drinks, and he comes up with his own concoctions. And I said, you got to make the Mick Manhattan, which is a Manhattan with a chicken McNugget in it. That's what's got to be.
That's horrifying.
Tastes like chicken.
This is absolutely terrible. Or frozen chicken nuggets, and that's what's actually the. Sorry, no, that just got worse. That got worse.
That's salmonella right there. I can't deal with that. Well, welcome to the show, Casey, my friend. How are you this evening?
I'm doing very well. I'm an old, tired man tonight. I'm definitely feeling my age. It's a wonderful thing. No, it's fine. It's like, no, it's okay, body. You're doing your thing. I'm working. Still moving.
Well, hopefully, we can make it fun for you tonight, rather than,
of course,
more tiring.
I'm spending time with you, my friend. It's always the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. To be fair, I don't know why that comes up every time I do that.
Yeah, you are just to be fair.
Well, you know,
although I feel like then it's almost a but. Like, hey, spending time with you is great. To be fair, I would rather have a woman by my side.
That's to be fair.
To be fair.
Well, Casey, it is Tuesday, November 2nd. Halloween is over. We finished Snobs Horror Fest pretty strong. Our Halloween party was on Saturday evening. I think it went pretty well, all things considered, with the rain and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, there were a bunch of cool kids that came by in awesome costumes. We got to hand out candy. I was pretty stoked.
I did my civic duty today. I went and voted.
As did I. Well, past me voted, thankfully.
That's smart, man. You did it the right way.
Yeah.
I went out. I figured I would just go get it done, vote, get it ready. So I'm not going to make this political. I just wanted to say go out and vote.
Go out and vote. It's
next
important.
year. Because it's over now.
Yeah, well, it's done now. So hopefully you went out and voted.
Vote whenever there's an election. Just vote.
And if you didn't, that's your choice too.
But it's not your civic choice. It's not your civic
duty. It's not your civic duty. It's chaotic freedom. I'm still going on that one.
That's fair. You know, I will say, to get a little chaotic, I do have an announcement to make.
Ooh.
As of today, for an indefinite amount of time, Mick Manhattan is taking a hiatus on guest appearances.
Ooh, big break time. You've needed a break, bro. I mean, we keep saying that, and you keep being like, yeah, no, this is definitely the time. I'm definitely taking a break this time. And then like a week later, you're like, yeah, I'm going to go do this, and I'm going to go. Man, you're tired, bro. It's a lot. You do a lot. You're doing a lot.
I may need to feel out your schedule because you are a busy man, and I do not put that down in any sense. But I'm going to have to feel out your schedule, especially for Wednesdays. Not all the time, just sometimes, to fill in on Real Combat.
Oh yeah, see that I'm more than happy to do because Real Combat's a blast. I just
Yeah,
get to
I'm gonna-
sit there and let two people tell me if I should watch a movie or not. That's fantastic. I could do that.
And it's open now. It's not just horror, so it can be any genre.
Exactly. I'm so excited for the new genres.
I love it. Doing 2 of them a week for a month was like, plus this show, plus all the other stuff. I was like, nah, I gotta slow down a little bit. But
You tend to do that where you're like you race ahead and you get some great traction and then you're like that raging fire and pain and damage and well this time was more like when you urinated because of your kidney stones. That was pretty brutal.
how
And
crazy
you were
was that?
still doing so much stuff with a freaking monster stag thing like writhing up through your renal canal.
I'm so glad you got to see it finally, because, all right. So here's the story, everybody. So for a while now, I've been in a bit of pain because I've been passing kidney stones from the surgery back in June 30th.
Mm-hmm.
It was my last surgery. And so this past Saturday, right before the event, like all night, I was awake all last week. Like I didn't even sleep. Like it was just kind of like micro naps was what it was. And then we're getting ready for the event. And I am in, it feels like sandpaper coming through. And I know the stone is somewhere around there. I just don't know where. It just sucks. And I got to go do the show for 2 hours. Then I have to do the movie trivia, and I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I'm just like, this sucks. My whole body hates me, and I didn't want to do it ever again.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And so, I mean, how many times I run into the bathroom before I passed it? Like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, it was a ridiculous amount. And then you passed it, and you're like, dude, it came out, and it was it was a monster. It was
Dude,
it was Herculean.
it not only was it like huge, it was jagged, and I hated that. Like it just sucks, and that's not the end. Like that's the funny thing. Like a lot of people, like it was a huge one because all the other stuff that comes out and has come out today, and it's all like the little itty bitty stuff that just comes out. Like, but it like kind of like it's like shrapnel. It's so bad. I know. Anybody listening to this podcast at a later time, it's just
so glad that this is what they're jumping in on.
Oh my God. It was, but when that came out at the event, I was just like, this is the greatest moment of the month for me. I've done so much, but this being out was the greatest moment because I just felt nothing but relief. And I walked out and I saw you and I was just smiling at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you thought the whole time I was just annoyed with you. But then when it came out and you saw me, you were like, "Oh."
Well, I always know it is. Once you explain that to me, it's immediately like, "Oh, well, I'm off the table. Whatever I do wrong is fucking not nearly as much pain as you're going through. I'm fine."
It's like, no, Casey, I do hate you, but I only hate you because you don't have this inside of you. And it's the same for every other person I see today.
And I completely understand that. And on that point, I can go, Oh yeah, hate away, bro.
It's so bad and sucks so hard that it keeps happening.
No, it's brutal, man. It's brutal. Oh, we have Kathleen here. Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, Kathleen. Hello again, dear friends.
Yes, we were on Funny Sci-Fi last night. Check it out.
Go check out the episode. But it's not going to be as good as the episode where they have Quark, which is coming out on Friday.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing.
And kidney stones are the absolute. They are terrible. They are terrible. And that is from a woman who has given birth.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
she knows. So I made the announcement. We were talking about things, but there's another announcement that I need to make.
Okay. So first announcement is that we're going to be here on Tuesdays, and you're going to try to take November to relax and maybe rest.
Especially because we gear up in December. We're not going to do like every day, but we do have our Christmas party. We do have our New Year's countdowns, things like that. We have lots of fun stuff in December, but a lot of it's pre-recorded, which is good because then we take that 2-week period off of Christmas. Mm-hmm. But we do our overnight on Thanksgiving. And so, like, I think it's like, let's rest for a little while. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm fine with that. I mean, I still work. And then I'll be trying to do as much as I can because I love this stuff. and doing with you, my friend, is what we do.
Oh, and take as much time as you need. Only be here Tuesdays if that's the case. This is the only time I need you. Like other times too, I want you, and I want you tonight as well. Like Tuesdays,
Aw.
I want you as well.
Thanks,
but
buddy.
Tuesdays is like I want and I need.
This works out perfect because I wanted you to want me. So
I don't
it's
want
like
you wanna
someone
get
played some
sued.
kind of cheap trick on us.
All right, that was a good one. All right, that was a good one.
Thank
I
you.
like that. Well, a big announcement I'm going to make. Let's real quick say hi to Chris Sales. Chris Sales, so you could say
Hey, buddy.
Mick exercised his demon on Halloween. Well, the 30th, but yeah, very close.
Right through his dong.
And another Mick announcement. Yay. I have a lot of them. Well, this
It's
one
Fred's
is a good
favorite
one.
part.
This one, especially if you're fans of 80s movies, you're going to love this one. And that is on the opening night at AMC Theaters for Ghostbusters Afterlife. We are getting an Ecto-1 popcorn container for $34.99. You can buy this beauty. That is the Ecto-1, and it's filled with popcorn. It lights up the whole 9 yards. You get it in this cool trap-looking box. It's not dirty. It's supposed to be beat up because of the movie. And this is the scale.
It's not dirty. It's not spit on, honestly.
Fair. So those are some hats here, bottled water. So you kind of get an idea of the scale. And the scale, in my opinion, Casey, correct me if I'm wrong, looks very much like the scale of the Ecto-1 toy from the 80s.
Reminds me exactly of that scale, actually. I'm just making sure that that's going to be a large popcorn because I'm not looking to make any trips back. You know me. I'm a one-trip guy.
I don't give a shit if it's the smallest popcorn that they have. It's the smallest popcorn that they have, I'm fine with it as long as I get that thing.
I mean, it's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. It is very radical. Your
Soon as
love of this is insane because I know you want this more than life itself at this moment.
It's going right up there next to the Millennium Falcon. I saw that and I immediately bought a ticket for the closest AMC at the earliest show on the 18th.
Well,
Comes
Paul's asking if he can join us, and I guess, Paul, you have to buy tickets to that viewing, to that showing, and then sure.
I think it's at all AMCs, but I'm not sure, and it doesn't give you an exact location. So I just bought a ticket, and I'm hoping. And if I don't get it, sad, but I'll still get to see Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Well, you definitely want to go to one of the richer ones, so probably more the Fairfax area.
Well, I'm not doing that.
Go right towards DC. Go right into the heart of the city. They'll probably only have them at select theaters, meaning like around cities.
That's fair. I don't care. It starts at 6 p.m. and I'm showing up at like 4 p.m. The work-life balance of podcasting can be incredibly brutal. There's a lot more to it than just sitting down at the microphone and being awesome. Even if you gentlemen make it look easy. Thank you, sir. That is true.
Thank you, buddy.
I hope everybody understands those Mick picks take me like 4 hours to edit, and that's not even counting the graphics that I put in. That's not counting all like the search. I'm just talking about the and the buts.
Bro,
and
we get it.
my
You're doing a lot.
I was like, and I hate myself for saying so much.
Well, that's okay. You should probably not hate yourself.
No, I do, because I'm an idiot for
Probably be a little nicer to yourself, bro. It's okay. Things happen.
I mean, I love myself.
Yeah.
But I hate my
Like there you go. You can hate your
Okay. Then I'll say that. I hate my
There you go.
Paul says, shut the front door? But that's not a D. That's a U.
That would be different.
Oh. Paul says he needs that. And can we come screen that movie with y'all? Well, all right. Listen, listen, this isn't like the Scene Snobs special screening and they're giving them to us. If that was the case, that'd be awesome. And we're working on that. But it's just at AMC. So go to an AMC. Don't hate my friend Mick.
Excellent use, Kathleen. And I hope that you're not hating my friend Kathleen.
Don't hate yourself, Kathleen.
Nope. You're a wonderful, beautiful human being. So you cut out that noise.
Do it.
Do it.
Gonna be like Shia LaBeouf. Do it.
What are you waiting for? Do it now.
So, Casey, seeing this and seeing the Ecto One popcorn container and kind of thinking about toys we loved as a kid and stuff like that, and especially going to Time Traveler Toys and Collectibles the other day, which, if everybody is interested, you should go check out online. You can buy online anything, too.
Yeah, they were fantastic. What a great shop. Tons of stuff. I got so much cool art from them. Yeah,
this was a cool thing Casey got me. It's Batman's death. Not the death of Batman, not the Dark Knight Falls.
No.
It's a completely different issue. It's an interesting issue. Very cool artwork, though.
I'm glad you like it, bro.
I do. I really do. I don't have. I have to get an 11 by 17 frame. I'm not hanging that up without a frame.
Oh yeah, no. I got my House movie poster still sitting, and River talked all about it. She was like, "What's House? Can you explain it to me?" I'm like, "It's a zombie comes to a house that's haunted and tries to kill the dude who was his best friend in Vietnam." And I had to leave it there. I was like, I can't explain more about House because House is it's nuts.
Tries to kill him after stealing his son and bringing him to Vietnam.
Right?
Like 4 years before or something.
Yeah, something outrageous. It's so weird to try to explain how that movie went down. So I'm like, I'm not even going to bother. But we did. The Ecto One actually brings up a special thing for me because River and I actually watched Ghostbusters for the first time this weekend.
Oh, what did she think?
She loved it.
Nice.
She thought it was wonderful. She was a big fan. All the stuff she thought was going to be too scary, I'm like, honey, I promise. It immediately is followed up with a joke, like immediately. And it's really not that scary. Like, especially the New York Public Library scene. I remember, sure, it was scary for younger kids. But now kind of knowing and seeing it, and I rewatched it, I was like, nah, this ain't that bad. And River was like, it's not that scary. And then them running out was hilarious, so it made it immediately better. So she was progressively getting through it and enjoying it. And by the end, she was into it, man. She's like, who's Zool? What's up with Gozer? What's the Destroyer? And I was like, yo, let's talk.
You know what I heard on another podcast that I really liked, and I never put two and two together? Lewis is the keymaster.
Yes.
And Lewis gets locked out of his apartment all the time.
All the time.
It is an amazing, ironic twist that they wrote into that story.
He was a terrible keymaster. That was the whole point. He was a terrible keymaster. He's talking to a horse at one point. Like, I mean, the whole point is he was the worst candidate for
the beautiful single woman who batted down advances on all men was the gatekeeper.
Yep. Terrible choice for a gatekeeper. Zool was not wise.
It was so wonderful, to say the least, that they put that irony in there, and that Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis are just geniuses.
Oh, yeah. Harold Ramis was fantastic. Ivan Reitman, the way he worked that camera, buddy, he crushed it.
Oh,
that was so good.
So it got me. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because the kids have seen the movie before, but we watched the 2 Halloween specials from the real Ghostbusters this weekend.
Ooh.
Which was, I forget, I think the first one is just called Halloween, and the second one is The Halloween's Door. And that was the one where they tried to cancel Halloween, and all the monsters and ghosts came back to life.
Okay.
To attack. It's pretty good shows that I remember being Halloween specials when they came out. And the first one was like Sam Hain, who was a pumpkin head, like type of wizard type character, came out. It was pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. But enough about Ghostbusters. I have a question.
Well, it was fun. I do remember those, and they were good times. And I think River would enjoy those. I don't know, but I'm 50-50. Every time I think she's going to enjoy something, she's like, nah, it's boring. I'm like, oh, all right.
And you never know, because she may come around at another age.
Right, because it might become interesting later when she starts to understand some of the stuff. You know, some of the other things, she's just like, what's up with this stupid laser sword? Star Wars. I'm like, okay.
What? She says that, really?
No, she does enjoy parts of Star Wars, but she's like, but the whole story is just kind of boring. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I get it. I know I get it.
After Leia.
She's a bit more of an instant gratification child. She can't sit through an entire 2-hour movie yet. That's fine.
It's the world of video games taking us away. And actually, we to kind of go into our next topic that kind of opens the door. One, I want to talk to you about what was the childhood thing or things that you kind of dropped suddenly. Like you really enjoyed it, and then you like dropped it. For like me, I really remember liking Power Rangers, and then all of a sudden it was just like girls. It's just like it just changed, like everything, and it seemed almost instantaneous. Like I just didn't care about Power Rangers anymore. So, what was it for you?
Well, there's Power Rangers. A lot of different Saturday morning cartoons really got the cut, man. They just the moment I was of age, and it was part of it by choice because I was like, okay, hi, I love you, Jason. Part of it, and yeah, girls are definitely tricky, Kathleen, in all walks of life. So, oh, nice. Well, welcome, Jason. Glad you got to interview Ron.
I'm glad you got your plug in.
And he liked Power Rangers and girls. He just didn't tell the girls. That's strong. That's strong. Mine really was Saturday morning cartoons because I was all of a sudden of age where I could work. And growing up on a farm, you just started working. It was no longer a question of, oh, okay, well, we'll give you till maybe this amount of time. You can watch a couple hours, have some breakfast. No, there was immediately, it was like, oh, you can mow the lawn and you can help bale hay and you can help with all the chores. So it was like, so that all of those things got cut. Really, the last one to leave was X-Men on Saturday morning. That was the last one that I held on to as long I possibly could. Everything else was easy to get rid of, but that X-Men, man, if I could make it somehow to weasel my way to do a lot of stuff early morning on Saturday so that I could be back by 11 a.m. to just get that 30-minute show in while, I don't know, eating a sandwich or something. That was, but yeah, it was kind of funny how all cartoons, because I was still watching Saved by the Bell. I was still able to catch that because it was on at lunchtime, and I started to get way more into sports too. So it kind of transitioned into that.
You know what it is for me? You know, the set, I didn't count Saved by the Bell as, I counted that as like sort of like that's what older people watch. I truly believe that Saved by the Bell and Hang Time and things like that were those, which by the way went on for 6 years. I hope everybody knows that Hang Time was a 6-season show, and the lowest amount of episodes on a season were 14. So it's like it should be syndicated at this point, but whatever. But I, you know, like Saved by the Bell and Saved by the Bell New Class, like those were ones even when I was little and I watched and I was like, this is for older kids, but I get to watch it too.
And sneaking it in.
Like for me, like once you like, there's almost like once I left, like because Dawson's Creek and all that stuff didn't start yet.
Yeah, I wasn't there yet either. There was this space between, but because that was all high school, that was freshman year. So before that, it was almost like middle school. Middle school was around that time. Basically, from 5th grade, I was starting to drop those shows, and the cartoons were kind of gone. And then by the time I was in 6th grade, it was like, okay, now Power Rangers just gone, and VR Troopers, and all these other shows that I was really into, and just boop out. And I think it was part of the cheesiness. I started to want to watch the more grown-up things and see the more like details. And you know, at that point, I'd watch Starship Troopers, so it's like, screw the rest of this stuff. You know, what else is going forward?
Well, for me, like the Saturday morning cartoons started getting worse when Darkwing Duck left, and that was like the last shred of hope because Ninja Turtles was off, and I'm talking about the ABC lineup.
Yeah, Tailspin and all those. Yeah, because I was still watching all that ABC. Like those were still great cartoons that I was still watching. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers was still on there.
Oh, well, the Disney Afternoon was still awesome.
Oh yeah,
I was still in for that, but it was. I think maybe it was around the same time as Power Rangers. The only one I would watch after school was probably Batman the Animated Series because it felt older.
Yep, that was exactly the same. Exactly. Always with Batman Animated. That was one that was always on. I would stick with that cartoon. That was one of the few. And then I was slowly learning about Dragon Ball Z in middle school, but I also wasn't into cartoons as much. I wasn't letting any new cartoons in. Like I was busy trimming all of them down. It was very weird. It was just like, and it was immediately being taken over by sports. Every sport, everything, every activity, fishing, like anything I could do to get out of the house and go do something, go swimming.
Yeah, that for me it was, and it wasn't even that like a full transition to girls or anything like that. It was just like it was kind of like you wanted to go out and do things with the guys, and like Saturday mornings it was like let's just get out and go do something, even if we're playing, even if like we're not playing a recreational league sport or school sport. Let's get out and go play baseball, or let's go out and do this.
Always shoot some hoops or something.
Yeah. and things like that. Like, so I feel like I kind of left, and it wasn't just cartoons. It was like most TV shows. Like Saturday nights, I used to watch Hercules and Xena, and I used to love them. But then at some point, I was like, I'd rather be out playing Manhunt with my friends.
Yeah.
You know? So it was like that kind of disconnect where it was like, I'd rather be doing this kind of older thing, hanging out with my friends and some girls being there. Let's go over. I see a bunch of
people are running in there.
We forget that Paul's younger than us. Nickelback and Church.
That's what he dropped real quick. And you know what? No, I'm with you, bro. There were definitely some musicians that I was like, no mas, and they were just gone. I don't know what it was, but I just reached the point where I was like, yeah, I'm done with a lot of these.
I think it's with the moodiness.
Yeah.
You just kind of get like, I'm not in that mood anymore. Especially at this age. It's like,
and especially if I get moody, man, I listen to Celine and Sarah. Those women know what's up.
Well, I turned into Paul Rudd from Role Models when he's just like, I like to party all night. He's like, I like to, what does he say? He's like, I like to party all night long and I'm part of every day.
I'm part of every day.
Like, no, partying every day. He's like, no, I can give you like 3 to 4. That's about as much as I can do it. I never watched Power Rangers.
Fair.
Make You Look younger shaved. Yes, and a chud.
Nope.
Chud-like.
Let's just stop that part because you just look young.
I can still love myself and think I'm ugly. I can't think of a show.
I do it every day. It's fair.
Jason's becoming the new name dropper. Yeah, I know. Oh, I'm glad you had Ron Russell on your show. He's only been on our show like 15 times. No, I'm just kidding. That was so messed up. It was such a dick move. But yes, no, that's very cool, and I am looking forward to it.
Fred's was hilarious.
that was funny. I don't think I ever dropped any of my childhood interests: dinosaurs, Star Wars, Batman, X-Men, Lord of the Rings, etc. They've all been pretty much lifelong interests. Maybe I'm weird. No, okay. So here's a good point to that. All right, John, I get that. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Like, I didn't drop comic books. I didn't drop Star Wars. I didn't, but they didn't become the main thing in my life. It's like I came back around, had kids, and was like, all right, I love these. Like I can show you all like my past, but like I did like going out and doing different things, and I think they just weren't at the forefront anymore. Like Power Rangers was just kind of one of the ones where I was like, I am not continuing this. I'm moving on. But like in the X-Men cartoon, I don't think I've ever rewatched it. Maybe a few episodes here and there.
Oh, I have. It's amazing. It's worth it.
And I get that, and I want my kids to watch it. But I like the comic books. Like I was stuck with comic books. I always read those, and I got more into movies and stuff, which is more my thing anyway. So, and my taste in TV kind of, I don't want to say grew up, but like matured.
Well, the cheesiness of Hercules and Xena became way more clear as I got older. And I almost was like, ew, why would I have liked this? And then also staying up late and watching Andromeda or Cleopatra 2025, whatever the heck that show was.
Oh my God, I remember that.
You remember those? Yeah, bro. Those were great.
Oh, remember Lex?
Oh, man, Lex. Yeah.
It was such a weird show.
Oh, they were so much fun, but I stayed up watching those shows and then eventually was like, even these are like the cheese factor was too much. I couldn't get past it. It was like, okay. So then I became a snob in high school. So, but I was also a comic book snob. I was a snob of my Star Wars. I became the snob of all of the things. Like, oh no, allow me to explain to you precisely why Grand Moff Tarkin rose to power. Like, things kind of changed a little bit, As I got older, I was humbled a few times.
We've made it. We've just become the snobs. So those little things like that, stuff like that, like it kind of, I just kind of I feel like I graduated. I feel like, and again, it's not that anything that I left or I look back and then shame. Especially like Star Wars always stuck with me.
Star Trek for me forever. I never let go of Star Trek, like ever.
Yeah.
Even pretended to. Like, I was never trying to be cool. I just fully accepted what it was and who I was. And I got to do that early on because of Star Trek. Now, all the other things, taking time. But...
yeah, it's almost like I graduated from playing with toys, too. Like, so that's what it was. It was like, I don't want to play with these anymore. I collect them, but I don't want to play with these anymore. I want to play with breasts, which didn't happen for a while. It wasn't like I graduated and was like, oh, hi.
I mean,
I
but
get to
there's
play
an
with you?
absolute no, there's an absolute truth in that because there's just like as a boy, a young lad growing into his manhood, there's suddenly a moment where the world just becomes boobs, and it's just, I mean, that's a reality.
Well, I'm holding on to my virginity story for a while. You know it, but I'm not giving that one up for a while because
We can wait at least another 15 to 20 years.
that's you know what? I have to. Yeah, I'm not even getting into it.
There you go. Moving on to the next thing, and on to the next one.
I'm gonna let them dream. Maybe for year 3, maybe for year 4. Like our
No, that's year 17. Seriously, no
Year
joke.
17.
You get, if you hang out long enough, everyone, you get to hear that story.
I'll tell you what, and everybody put the word out there. If I get to 100 rates and reviews on the Apple Podcast and 1,000 subscribers, I will tell you that story. And Casey knows it. Casey knows that story, and it's worth it. So if you can get me to that, I will tell that story live on the air.
Yeah, I will say right now, it is absolutely worth it. Please,
I will not give
get
up
to our numbers.
I'm not giving away names, though.
No, you cannot.
No. I cannot give up names.
Oh, Fred was a funny.
Well, Jason Taylor says, I'm so behind. I turned into a closeted nerd when I got into the ladies.
Yeah,
Closeted?
same, Jason. We all did, bro. No, I did hard. Like I said, by over snobbing it and overselling it, that was my way of like, look how wonderful I am, pretentious and intelligent. Yeah, it was stupid.
Why
But
do you
you gotta
guys
get
not
checked
utilize
because of
headphones?
boobs.
You know why?
I
Fred?
don't know.
Because we don't wear headphones and people still listen to us.
I hope it's not messing with my sound. Is it messing with my sound, Fred?
You sound fine to me.
All right.
If I can hear you, that's all I care about on this show.
John, yes, Darkwing Duck was awesome.
Yes, I still remains on my desk.
Better watch out, you bad boys.
I love it. I need to introduce Honora to Bonkers. Bonkers
That was awesome.
Bonkers showed up in the new DuckTales show.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Is he still a cop?
Yeah, well, what they did was when they introduced Taurus Bulba from Darkwing Duck on, he was a scientist. I watched that show from beginning to end. I loved every second of it. Suck gas, Kathleen. I love that. So when he when Taurus Bulba came on, he had like this dimensional portal thing, and you'd see, and like they even zapped Scrooge and the boys into it, and went to the old show, and they were in. He was like in the blue, and they were in their old outfits. But you saw security footage of somebody stealing something from a lab, and Bonkers was the security guard.
Okay, well that's a good start. Security
it was pretty
guard.
Cool. And I just kind of like how they utilize it, even like the Rescue Rangers when they would just come in, save the day, and then leave, and not say a word.
Well, they were amazing with that.
It was so good on that show. I'm going to skip a few. Hee hee quirk. Yes. John has never been the outdoors.
I mean, Principal Schneider, too. Let's not get away from the Principal Schneider fact that he was one of the coolest principals ever in television. So tune in on Friday. That's going to be exciting. I'm excited to hear it.
Fred, Star Trek is stupid. Fight me. And
hey,
you know what,
Fred? You know what? It's cool. Whatever you believe, bro.
And then I'm going to come down to Fred, and I'm going to start a little more trouble with Fred by saying, yeah, well, you know what, Fred? Star Trek isn't stupid. So this is us fighting you on the air.
Yeah.
And then
Star Trek is amazing.
Fred made a gay joke. What was his name? About me losing my virginity. Womp womp.
It's kind of like Losing My Religion by Michael Stipe, but different.
Mick, did you really graduate from toys? We can see your room now. I know. I came back to them.
Hard.
I think that's what it was. Because when I went to high school, everybody knew I loved comic books. Everybody knew I loved movies, horror movies, things like that. And I got made fun of for it. I got beat up for it, stuff like that, until I grew 3 sizes that year. And then everybody was just like, all right, we're not going to beat them up, but we're going to psychological warfare them. Tear this giant down. And then
you have those names, right? Because I still need those names.
Fred, We know you have a gay son. We know that you are not homophobic. We know that you are not hateful or hurtful in any way. And I'm saying that on this show. So anybody listening in the future, I'm just making a joke. But at the same time, you cannot say I have a gay son. I can make the jokes. That's not how it works. That's not how society works.
I don't actually know how society works anymore. I'm pretty sure it's all up in the air, and it's all a best of luck, everybody. Do what feels right, and hopefully you make it.
At this point. Just whatever. We haven't even gotten.
No one got hurt. Topic. Cool. Keep going.
Fred can be wrong. About what?
About Star Trek.
I think we just called Fred wrong, and then we're just like, but what's he wrong about? All right, I make blonde jokes, but sometimes I don't get them. Why does a blonde wear shoulder pads? I don't know.
Oh, that's terrible.
That is from Saturday Night Live. I stole that joke, so
fair.
I will say that, and that is a visual joke. So anybody listening to the podcast is like,
did not help. They did not get that punchline.
You're gonna have to subscribe to the channel. So okay, going forward. I feel like we graduated at the same time with from things, and like you said, you still always held on to them. Some things were closeted, some things weren't. I don't know. I kind of got out of cartoons and the toys and stuff. Like, I didn't. Casey can attest to this. I moved around a lot in my 20s, and I'd never held anything.
Yeah, you weren't a collectibles guy.
No, because I was always moving, and if it didn't fit in my car, I didn't take it wherever I went. So it was for me, when I finally settled down, got married and such, I was like, all right, I want to collect. I always want to do that. So that's why these exist now. But we do have a main topic tonight.
Yes, we do. 36 minutes into our show.
36 minutes into our show. We have, well, John Oliver gives it only like 20 minutes.
I mean, that's fair. Welcome to the Scene Snobs.
And our main topic tonight is Sweet November. We love you, November.
Yes.
We love the rain of November.
I do. I'm a fan of November rain.
I'm a fan of Slash playing in the middle of the desert outside of a small chapel that is way smaller than it is when he's getting married in it.
Well, that is fair. It is very different. And I really dig Axel playing that piano in the rain, like fighting the man.
That's true. And yeah. Oh, God, that stupid movie. So I thought we'd talk about some things that we love about November, because it is a month that I feel really gets crapped on.
I don't.
I do because, like, I think people appreciate Thanksgiving and people think that that's it for November because Halloween's over. Like, a lot of people were pissed. They're like, oh, great, it's November. Screw it. Halloween's not around. We got to wait a year. And it's like, come on, everybody. Let's give November its due. It's right before Christmas. To me, even the Christmas season starts in November. Our tradition was when you see Santa at the Thanksgiving Day parade.
That's it.
It's Christmas time.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. That's exactly when it's kickoff time. That's when we get rolling. That's when the game starts.
That's literally when the game starts, too. You're right.
Because, it's shopping day. It's Black Friday. We're a capitalist society. It's time to hit those horns and go out and buy, purchase, 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 consume, consume, consume.
I have only ever bought one thing on Black Friday from Best Buy, and that was the Jaws Blu-ray. And the reason I bought it was because I was working at PC Richard & Son, which is a New York, New Jersey-based and Connecticut-based appliance and electronics store, and I worked there, and we got the Blu-ray player set up on the big TV right in the front, and I had to stand up front for Black Friday the whole time. So I went, I was like, I'm taking a break. Went down to Best Buy, bought Jaws, the Blu-ray, because it had just come out, came back, put it on, and watched it like 3 times. And I was fine with it.
That's insane. Mine was a little different. I enjoyed because, as you know, I used to work on every Thanksgiving when I was a bartender. So back in those days, I would have all that extra cash from the night of bartending the night before Thanksgiving and then Thanksgiving night, which were 2 of the biggest bar nights in the year. So that was like my Christmas time. So I would go make my purchase for myself that Black Friday morning because, I'd be out of work around 3, 4 in the morning and go head on over to Best Buy and always get a new television.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. I did that about 3 years in a row. It was a lot of fun. It was a really cool little tradition I was trying to keep cruising along, and then eventually, just get tired. I want to actually not be out there.
Yeah, I because I worked 2 Black Fridays, and before then I never went out on Black Friday. And then I worked 2 Black Fridays, and I said I will never go out on a Black Friday, and I never did again. That was the only time that Jaws DVD Blu-ray was the only time, because it's a horrendous tradition that we have in this country that is just horrible people. Not yourself not included.
Oh, I was I was horrible people. I was going out and grabbing some coffee and some McDonald's, and I'd wander around Walmart and just watch people be jerks. It was great entertainment.
No, then that just means you're a spectator. There's a difference.
Yeah, I was absolutely a spectator. Sometimes try to make somebody laugh because, their night looked like it was miserable. And, like, everybody was there on staff. So it was just like, this is terrible for these people. Like, what the hell?
It always was. And I always used to get mad because they'd be like, well, at least we gave you Thanksgiving off. We have to come in at midnight.
Yeah, it's not off.
Like, what are you talking about? And we're there until midnight the next day. Yeah. And that was because Best Buy was paid by hour, which, again, nothing wrong with that. I'm not putting that down in my tone. What I'm saying is they were paid by hour, so you had shifts. We were commissioned, so we didn't have the full amount of people. So it was just us all day long. All night long. And it
brutal.
It was brutal. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. I don't
But my
care.
favorite part of November is the end of November. That's my favorite part of November, because the beginning of November is a little brutal. It's rainy. We usually don't get a whole lot of snow, so it's cold rain, which is my least favorite weather of all, because it's the shit that gets right to your spine, and it's just like everything's just frozen. It's awful. So not a fan of that. But do enjoy the weather as it slowly gets like that legit cold now, and we start moving towards the snow, which is exciting. I do so love my snow. I'm in the mountains now, so that's going to be fun.
Oh my God, you're going to have so much fun. Don't expect to go to work anytime.
It's going to be a lot of remote. A lot of remote.
So for me, November, I love Thanksgiving. The Gobbler comes out at Wawa, which, if you don't know what the Gobbler is, it is a sandwich that is just Thanksgiving feast in one sandwich roll. And whenever I would work when we worked together at the data center, whenever I worked, I'd get one, and that would be my Thanksgiving meal because it was just amazing. And that became sort of a tradition for a few years there. And then, but my anniversary is on November 13th. Christmas season starts in November, so it's special to me. I love the Thanksgiving feel. I love that whole like dynamic of Thanksgiving. So November, getting ready for it is nice and fun because it's just you're so much closer to Christmas at that point.
Yeah,
and you amp up.
It's very true. Well, that's the thing. Is once you surpass Black Friday, the nightmare hell that is Black Friday really just reminds us that humans did in fact light other humans on fire, thinking they were witches. Like, let's remember that's the baseline of humanity. Anytime you start to believe in humanity, remember the 1600s, folks. We're not that far away.
Yeah, and not even just light random women on fire, light women that were their mistresses on fire because they got caught.
Either their mistresses or maybe like one of the local women who was actually healing people because she was against the church or whatever. Like, yeah, really good time. Really good times. Hey, but you know what else is a good time? Let's talk about November 13th real quick. Not only is it a great day for you, Mick, but some other things happened on November 13th.
I want to hear it.
On November 13th in 1940, Walt Disney released the breakthrough animated film Fantasia. How fantastic is that, buddy? Look at that.
That's
you
pretty
share
cool.
your date with Fantasia. Yeah.
I
and in 1990, the first known World Wide Web page was written. How about that, huh? That's pretty exciting. And in 1994, Sweden decided to join the European Union. All happened on November 13th.
Very cool. All November 13th. That's some big stuff.
Yeah, you got Whoopi Goldberg's birthday.
Oh yeah, I definitely have a list of birthdays. Mm-hmm. But I did you know that November, not only being the month of Thanksgiving, but it's also American Indian Heritage Month, Good Nutrition Month,
ooh,
Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah, which we all be aware. Don't hate yourself. Be kind to yourself. And
I think I'm
what
going to
you
do Movember. I think I'm going to grow a mustache for Movember.
Cool. I was doing the same thing. That's why I didn't shave at all. Because that way
Awesome.
it doesn't look creepy until it gets past that part. I mean, it still looks creepy, but less.
No, you shut up. But there's something else that is also November. It's National Peanut Butter Lovers Month.
Ooh.
And I love it.
Feels like my kind of month.
It does. Yeah. Well, listen, we wouldn't have Reese's without peanut butter.
Very true.
So.
And also some interesting different historical names of November. You know, the Romans actually called this November because this was the 9th month. Kind of funny that now it's the 11th month, which changed after January and February were added because those wacky Romans. So it's still the 9th month. So instead, I would like us to shift off calling it November. And this is a whole thing now. I want to change November. November can no longer be November. It's supposed to be the 9th month. I don't like it. So I would like the Saxon version of Blot Monath.
Blot
Monath.
Here we are celebrating
Blot Monath. Or hey, I'll take the Germans version. It'll ease us in there. So as a step down, Nebelmond, which is fog month. Which, I mean, that's pretty legit. We have a boatload of fog around here. So Nebelmond.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like we're in the mountains. There's always going to be a lot of fog in the mountains.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't really blame
especially during Nebelmond.
Kathleen says, I love when you guys have topics. Yeah, we do. And when Casey has his history topics, he comes prepared, man. I don't know any of this stuff. And German, come on. We're going to learn German. What podcast are you learning November German?
Oh, that's a Germanic, like ancient history version. Nowadays, they call it November because they're boring. That's all the Romance languages are like Noviembre, November.
Yeah.
Nebelmond.
And then we have the three geeks, Jason Taylor, saying November sucks, and he spelt November wrong.
November.
November. It snowed here today in Michigan. Pumpkin pie.
Oh, pumpkin pie all day. All pumpkin things. I am a huge pumpkin guy. I am probably a bit of a pumpkin slut, and I'll admit it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
Do love me my pumpkin everything.
And I can't wait because I'm going to ride out the pumpkin coffee until peppermint coffee pops in. I love it. It snowed in Michigan today. Only 49 days left till the official start of what. That's because you're in Michigan. That's because you live in little Scandinavia. That's your problem. You live in Michigan, Wisconsin, South Dakota, Minnesota, even Chicago because it's like right up there. You're insane. Your guys are nuts. You live too close to Canada, maybe the nicest place in the world. But get yourselves some coats and just remain inside at all times. You either are having like craziness go on or snow, and that's it. Oh, and Maine gets it too, and I love Maine. I want to become a small town. I want to quit the Scene Snobs, and I want to move to Maine and become a small town sheriff until the devil shows up in the town that I'm a sheriff of, and he causes havoc, and then I have to leave it behind and then come back and rejoin Casey, who has continued the Scene Snobs, and then it's just going to be November. By next November, that will be the whole story. But anyway, Maine gets it too. They start snowing in October, and it's crazy, and then they don't end until like April, and you guys are maniacs for living there. You're maniacs. He just said November is the fog month, and you guys are talking about snow. You guys are maniacs. Move. Summer houses. Move to New Mexico. Maybe not New Mexico because of what just happened in New Mexico, but I'm not going to make a joke about that because that's messed up. But maybe Florida, but maybe not Florida because DeSantis is a maniac.
Yeah, it's Florida.
Alabama.
No.
Just move to Alabama. There's lots of nice people in Alabama. I've seen that movie. Louisiana. That's also another good one. I don't know about Arkansas. We know what Clinton did in the 90s. It was weird. Okay, rant over. Let's go to the next one. I love November, actually. This is my kind of weather. It's total change in my tone.
There's the next one. And it's not November, so he got it this time.
Wait, is it right or is it right or wrong? I can't tell now
that's
because
right.
you misspelled it last time.
That's proper. That is the correct way that it should be spelled, according to the good Queen's English.
Well, if you look,
dictionary.
I spelled the one above when I made the graphic, so I do know how to spell it. But because he spelt it wrong before, I didn't know what was actually going on.
It just became word salad now. You're all messed up.
So are you all about sweater weather or leather jacket weather?
Bro, sweater weather all day. You know it's sweater weather world. That's how we live. That's how I survive. That is the greatness that is me, is when I am able to live in my sweaters, which I just started pulling out.
Wow, I love it. Apple pie, cocoa, mashed potatoes. Maybe I just like food.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100,000%.
I should make my liquid apple pie again this year.
Moonshine, baby.
I'm down. Yeah, we live next to West Virginia. We'll get some moonshine.
Bro, we got it here in Virginia. We got them there Shenandoahs. Don't you be forgetting that.
We have
Appalachian
friends
runs through here.
We have friends who just ride up on their motorcycles and in their saddlebags, they're carrying it. And you're just like, they're like, hey, take a sip. And you're like, yeah, COVID be damned. Let's do it.
Yeah, because the COVID can't survive in that.
No, they really can't. Your eyes can't survive in that. I used to work in retail. Black Friday is an abomination in the eyes of gods and men. It's true.
Yeah. Zeus is pissed all the time, and Hera is like, what in the fuck? I said jealousy, not this.
My brother worked at Walmart and hated Black Friday. He got kicked off a furniture display and stepped on 1 year, bruised ribs and back. People are awful. Yep. Yeah, here's what I propose. If you're going to shop on Black Friday, only shop small business.
Yep.
Stop with the department stores. I'm telling you right now, I worked in electronics and appliances. All the stuff that is marked down to nothing is the crap stuff. Mm-hmm. It is the crap stuff, and we don't make money on it. That's why we sell you on all the other stuff. Now, depending on the company, that other stuff can be really good. Like our warranties were solid, and our handymen that went out to fix things were solid. I will give it to them. And there's a lot of companies that are like that. But I will say this, screw it. Shop small business on Black Fridays. If that's what you're going to do, save all the big budget stuff for Cyber Monday, which is the very next Monday. Buy it online. You can get the same TV for the same price somewhere else and give your money to some other big conglomerate. So take all your money and go out and shop small business. Eat at restaurants, go to coffee houses, go buy like stuff at fun little antique shops, whatever stuff. Help keep them alive. Fuck the rest.
Exactly. Boom. I love it. Also, some exciting things. I agree, Paul. November sucks when you work third shift outside. I remember being in the military working on the flight line during November. I did not like November back then. November was not a fun month because that's when everything starts to really get cold. Like it starts getting cold, and then November, it's like, oh, no, you're fucking cold now. Welcome to 5 a.m. Ugh.
Well, I hope you're off on Thanksgiving, but if you're not, we'll keep you company.
Buddy.
John Wass says, I love snow too, Casey. I knew you were good people.
It's the only thing you can ride snowmobiles in, hence it's the greatest weather ever.
Of course, Casey loves snow. He's from Connecticut.
The great word.
First of all, none of you know nice snow unless you're from Connecticut, because that's where all of the Hallmark Channel movies take place. Get it right. You go there, and every town looks like it's from the Gilmore Girls. There's a gazebo in a town square everywhere where the park is, and there's just beautiful layers of snow until the summertime, where it's just beautiful green grass. That is Connecticut. So stop talking about I got snow. You didn't get snow. You got the junk that's not in Connecticut. All right? I'm not, and I'm sticking up for Connecticut. And I'm nowhere from Connecticut.
Well, because Connecticut doesn't need to stick up for itself. That's the whole point. We just let other states do it. As soon as someone starts trash talking, they're like, wait a minute. Have you ever seen a movie? You don't need to see many. Usually one is enough for you to realize, so Connecticut's pretty fucking gorgeous. Okay.
Think about the movies that come out of your states. First of all, I'm from Jersey, so think about that right there. Secondly,
hold on, because you got
no
all the
Jersey bashing.
You got all the Kevin Smiths, so I'm just saying.
All right, thank you. You stuck up for me, and I appreciate that. But I'm going to say this. Think about all of the movies that come out of your states, and they never look quite great. They always look like, okay, downtrodden and beaten or whatever. Trust me.
Detroit, Michigan. I mean, I'm just saying Beverly Hills Cop. I love that, but Detroit wasn't looking great.
But let me tell you what. Every movie that comes out of Connecticut, even A Haunting in Connecticut, is like a beautiful thing. And I hate it because it just keeps telling me, and I work with a guy from Connecticut. So what does that tell you? I'm tired of hearing about how great Connecticut is and seeing it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the Hallmark channels.
It's always there.
Our anniversary is December 13th. I love the build up to our anniversary.
Ooh.
we will have to remember. I don't know what date December 13th is or what day it falls on. Let's see. That is a Monday. So the very next day we will say happy anniversary.
You will get it then. I won't say it now.
No, yeah, not now. Black Friday is the prototype for the purge. Yeah, it really is. What was the first World Wide Web?
That's a really good question, Jason. And you know what? We'll definitely have our research experts checking that out right now. We'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Is that me? Do I have to do that?
No, I'm on it. Don't worry.
I think people have left watching.
Well, it was the first World Wide Web page was like, I don't remember what it was. I think it was just hello. No, that was the first message. First message across was hello.
I think John is going full face, no shave. I got moved to where it's too humid. My hair gets too big. That's fair. Can we just settle this now? Is Kathleen a little red-haired girl that Charlie Brown talked about all the time? Is that Kathleen? I think it's Kathleen. John?
Oh, snap.
You won against Charlie Brown. Good.
Yep.
Congratulations.
John, good, because that guy was a prick.
Poor Charlie Brown. Anybody who could say Charlie Brown, of all the Charlie Browns in the world, you're the Charlie Browniest in a straight face is just monstrous. Shout out to the tiny antique stores. I love the one I work at. Well, I hope everybody shops there for Black Friday.
Yes, please.
You heard the man, Kathleen. I'm going to my friendly local guitar store on Black Friday.
Boom.
I'm glad this is effective. I'm glad people will do this. Lake Effect, Michigan. Snow is the bomb.
No, it is in fact a bomb, and it's a bomb I'm not super comfortable with. I love my snow, but my snow, we topped off at like 3 feet, and we're like, whew, that was a doozy. You guys go to 27 feet like as just a matter of pride. Like, I swear y'all living out there just to show you can do it. It's an awesome man versus nature thing. Well, humankind versus nature thing. But fucking ridiculous. That's way too much snow.
It is too much. What's wrong with Gilmore Girls, Mick?
There's nothing wrong with the Gilmore Girls.
It's terrible.
Nothing. There's nothing wrong with the Gilmore Girls.
Here's exactly what's wrong with
Are you kidding
I
me?
like Marvelous Miss Maisel, written by Amy Sherman Palladino. Here's why I don't like Gilmore Girls. Because there's no periods to any sentence. The next character just picks up their sentence from the immediate moment that the last person ended their sentence.
Yeah, but that was like the OC. That's what I loved about the OC, that snappy dialogue. And then Dawson's Creek had all the wit back and forth. Oh, come on, man. That's, of course, how we spoke back then.
Screw the Gilmore Girls. I would give you Charmed. I'm not giving you Gilmore Girls.
Hey, you know what? I will take Charmed. That's enough. And that would be enough. Everything is so Hamiltonized right now. I'm sorry. Everything
is legal in New Jersey. You know that at that time, that's not true. New Jersey was the state that was punishing by death for dueling. I've read that in a book.
Yeah. When they were at Weehawken.
It was very illegal in New Jersey.
And that's why Alexander Burr ran for his life.
Wait, are you trying to sell me on Michigan by saying Evil Dead takes place in Michigan?
I mean, that kind of sells me.
You know what sells me on Michigan? The American Pie movies. It looks beautiful there. You know, or Tim Forbes when he was on the show, he sold me on Michigan. Not Evil Dead. Like, that means I don't want to go. I
definitely want to go because at this point he's already taken care of it. Ash already handled it, bro.
Wait, you forgot an E in the Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls gave me too high of standards for men.
Same girl.
But they both. Oh my god! The November love has gone away because here's the thing about Gilmore Girls: your high standards for men. All of them were cheaters, or they ended up with the guys that everybody told them wasn't good enough anyway, and that they weren't actually looking for. And in the revival, yes, and I've watched every season, and I've watched the revival. She got knocked up by a married man. And don't say that, oh, no, that's not it. That is it. That's what's going to happen if it ever comes back, and I hope it doesn't. I'm done with the Gilmore Girls. Be done. Laura Graham, you're a national treasure. Shut up, everybody.
No, it's okay to just show that some people in life have bad pickers. That's all right. It happens.
Breaking Mick is the highlight of my Tuesdays. You're not breaking me. I'm just in. I'm in for a penny, out for a pound.
But that's the whole thing. I think Gilmore Girls is fantastic. I think it's wonderful. I get the high standards thing, but I mean, that's why Charmed gave me high standards. I expected more women to have sisters and be witches. Every time I hung out with them, I always had to find one with 3, and they were never actually witches. That wasn't fun, man. What a letdown.
You know what Buffy gave me? Strong women that stood on their own when they needed to, and that was what I liked.
I was into the homicidal maniac. I was into the one who murdered a guy and then went to work for the demon. That was my track. I don't think it's saying much, or it's exactly right.
Jason Taylor, stop telling me things I already know. I don't know how to spell her name. I spelled her name wrong. No, Lauren. Yeah, it's Laura. Is it? Yeah, it's an E. You misspelled the E. Did you do that on purpose? Did you misspell her name and not use an E? Even though is the extra E in November? Is that where you placed it? Did you miss?
He had to save it. He only has a certain number of E's he's allowed to use. It's like a Scrabble board.
Oh my God! You call Lauren Graham, and it's Lauren with an E, and for some reason that E is still in November. You maniac! I love you. Buffy was great. Yes, it was great. British TV actually affected my standards more than Gilmore Girls.
Like, Are You Being Served? Is that the one? Is that
Antiques Roadshow?
Like, oh, I'm sorry, you can't appraise this fucking pocket watch. Piss off! You are the weakest link. Like,
You don't know
I feel
what
like
these-
that was Kathleen dating before John.
You don't know what this fine china sells for? You piece of garbage. Angel.
You can't recognize
Angel
Ming Dynasty, you trash.
Angel's your epitome of men?
No, Angel was mine too. I wanted to be Angel, and I realized brooding was bad, but I didn't get it until I was like 24. So literally, our mutual friend was like mocking me for being brooding, and I was like, "My God, what have I done?"
I realized the irony of this statement. But in Buffy, the man who is probably the most well put together and the type of man that every woman on that show should have gone for stability,
Giles.
Xander. The man had a full-time job working construction, became a foreman, did his thing, still did things outside of to help the Buffy Scooby Gang.
Right, but he was with Anya, which means he shouldn't have been with anyone else.
No, I'm not saying that's the type of man.
You're saying
that's
archetype. Okay.
Yeah, that's the archetype of a man
Right.
that you should be going for in that show because he is grounded in reality most times. And he is the voice of reason in most times.
True. So not being a demon and angel who's like able to absorb people's like bad feelings and emotions and able to help their dreams and stuff. So that was a bad choice. The guy who dies after the first.
Well, no. On Angel, the grounded one was what's his name?
Wesley?
No, he was a maniac. He turned into a maniac. Who was Gunn? Gunn was.
Oh yeah.
Gunn was a vengeful man because of his brother.
Yeah.
But he was still grounded in reality and became a lawyer. He was like, you know what? I'm going to take this.
Yeah.
I'm going to become a lawyer. And if you don't agree with me about Gunn, you still have Lorne.
Yeah. See, Lorne was where I leaned. I was definitely more on the Lorne side by the end of everything.
Yeah.
I was big on Lorne.
And he was a heroic figure because he sacrificed himself for his friends.
Yep.
Jason has trouble. Ohio schools failed him. Well, Ohio produces A, the most amount of podcasters, and B, the most amount of astronauts. So that's a fact that you guys now know.
Because there's lots of sky to stare at.
Well, okay. So I should change. Because it produces the most amount of podcasts, it also produces the most amount of bad podcasts. That does not mean that I mean that anything Jason's on.
Yeah, man. Jason's
I'm just saying.
Fucking bomb.
I'm just
I
saying.
don't think you need to say anything particular about it.
No. But if Ohio is producing the most amount of
podcasts, I follow.
It's
yeah,
going to produce the most amount of bad podcasts as well.
That's fair. I don't think we need to focus on the negative, though, bro.
No. I was trying to turn it away from a negative. This podcast should affect your standards. Laugh out loud. These men are top of the heap. You spelled heap wrong. You spelled heap wrong. Now you have 2 E's in heap. It's HEAP. You have to figure out where you're putting your A's and your E's. That's the only thing. I don't care if you misspell every other consonant, but you are not allowed to misspell A's or E's anymore.
Well, those are vowels, firstly. And he can do whatever he damn well pleases. I like your heap. It feels very old English.
He can mess up his consonants, is what I'm saying. I won't get on them about the consonants.
Oh.
I'm saying, and I'm not even about the other vowels. I'm just saying the E's and the A's, you've reached your limit for the year. You're not allowed to get any more wrong. How did you misspell November with an extra E, then take away the E and put an A in Lauren, and then with Heap, put the E back in?
It's broken, folks.
You have broken me. You have broken me. It wasn't Kathleen. It was Jason. Poor on Love Xander. What is it?
Hey,
what is it about
Xander
Ohio?
is very loved. Xander is very loved, and I was
Xander.
the Zepp throughout my life, so I am all about understanding Xander. But he was with Anya. I don't think he should be on. I think he is the archetype of who you should have been with the hard worker coming out of school.
No, Anya was the one that, if Anya was the one that understood that.
Yeah.
Everybody else, like, okay, Xander, we have Angel here, we have Spike here, we have Giles here, we have everybody here. But Xander was the one that they passed him by, but Anya was like, nope, he's the best one of you.
Well, and she saw that, and that was the beautiful thing. And that's why Anya's finish was just, God damn it, when he's just like, oh, that would be my girl doing something stupid. It's like, oh.
I know, but at the same time, like, I wanted them to ride off in the sunset together. What is it about Ohio that makes people want to leave the planet?
Oh, there it is. Touche, John. Touche.
No, it's not that. They just want a better look at Michigan.
Yeah, right. Oh, and CERN, Jason CERN was the first website. In case anyone was curious, that would be CERN, the first webpage written on this day in 1990.
What was?
CERN.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's
cool.
first webpage, first website.
Nice. Laugh aloud, Kathleen. I'm up way past my bedtime, so my spelling is worse than normal.
Oh, he's good.
Maybe you should throw an E in that normal.
Hey, man, no, he nailed that one, man.
The only way that E is normal for Jason is the only way that normal is spelt right for Jason on a normal basis is if there's an E in it. I'm kidding, Jason. Ohio produces more astronauts, which says a lot about the state. People hate the state so much they want to leave the planet. Can you blame them? I did that heap on purpose. The rest weren't. You forgot the apostrophe.
I knew he was going to say something.
Still celebrating
Halloween. Oh, yeah,
Halloween.
because you've got the scroll on. I love it.
Are we?
Yeah.
Shoot.
This scroll looks right, but then for some reason it looked like the other one was doing the November. I love it.
No, we're out of Halloween time. We're appreciating.
We're celebrating everything now. Just November in general.
Yeah,
Neighborhood.
And actually, I would like to kind of close the show, each show this month. I would like to close it by saying something we're thankful for. I think it's important to do that.
I agree.
So, Casey, what are you thankful for? It can be funny. It can be brown. It can be blue. It can be violet sky.
Something yellow.
No, it can be hurtful.
Mick, honestly, I want to say that to start this month, I'm super grateful I'm thankful for us and thankful for the time I get to spend with you, my friend. I'm thankful for the show. I'm thankful for all the listeners. I'm thankful for the people that have been in my life, and I'm so grateful for all of you, and thank you so much. So that's what I'm thankful for first, is what this podcast has brought us, what it continues to bring us, what we continue to build towards, and most importantly, spending time with my friend.
You stole mine, you dick. All right. Well, no, I wasn't going to get into the show. I was just going to say I'm thankful for you, Les Madman. You bring such a fun joy to the show, and I get to hang out with my best friend every week, and that is, as this year has taught me, a very important thing in people's lives.
Bingo.
So, and I do appreciate it, and I want to say thank you to all of you who watch us weekly and or listen and put us out there, and we have a lot of fun doing this, and that's just what we do. I don't want to get too, because it's only the first week in November, so I don't want to get too sappy. So that's as far as I'm going to go. I'm mostly thankful for you, Casey, and then I'm mostly thankful for the other people watching and listening.
I'm mostly thankful for you, Mike, and we're going to leave it there for tonight. Next Tuesday, we got a lot more to roll out. We got a grateful red carpet, baby. We're going to be going crazy. It's going to be glitz and glam of all the thankfulness and gratefulness and the wonderfulness we're throwing around. It's going to be wonderful.
I do want you all to keep in mind, though, if you want to hear my loss of virginity story, make sure you get 100 rates and reviews on our Apple podcast. and make sure you get 1,000 subscribers up on our YouTube, and I will tell that story. And it is a good one.
It's an interesting one. Good is a variable term.
That's fair. It's a good one for me.
Well, yeah, you had a great time with that story. Also, remember, when you're going on to that Apple podcast, you just go and pop right in there, and to review us, you just put up those 5 stars. Tell us how terrible we are. You can say anything you want. Comment away. Fire off like crazy. Hit those 5 stars and say what you got to say.
I know people who hate this show and still commented nice things and gave us 5 stars. So it's amazing to me. I thank Jason says, "You mother."
No, you know what he's doing here. He put a lot.
It better be E. Okay, I didn't. All right, I only saw the E in thankful. I only saw the E in thank fuel over here, and then I didn't see the other E's.
It looks like if I were to read this off right, it would say, "I'm thankful for you guys." So yeah, it's like he was working on Dutch or something.
That's how Casey is so good at dialects, because I couldn't read that. Like I didn't read that. I was just like, there's so many E's. I appreciate that though. John Wash says, thank you for being here to entertain us. Kathleen says, I love virtually spending my Tuesdays with you.
Yeah.
Radar says, thankful I learned Casey has hair. He does. He has a lot of hair.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Should someone check that Jason isn't having a stroke?
I feel like it may be more like his face as he's falling asleep trying to type buttons.
I kind of don't blame him there. It is late. Okay, everybody. So thank you for watching the show. I'm not going to tell you everything that you can or cannot do to support us. Just listen to the end credits for that. But we are here. One thing we would really appreciate is if you're watching this on YouTube, give us that like. We really appreciate it. Thanks,
subscribe
everybody.
if you haven't.
Casey, you want to do your sign off, sir?
Absolutely. I love and appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. Be kind to each other.
The only thing I can add that's on par with that is love you, Len, and take care.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, and you can check out the Scene Snobs podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, or you can check it out on any podcast platform or our YouTube channel anytime after that. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. If you guys want to join, check us out over on thescenesnobs.com. We have links for everything. The Scene Snobs merch store is open. You can check that out too. Links again on the site. Or like, follow, and subscribe on all of our social media. Again, head over to thescenesnobs.com. It's all there for you guys. Love you, and we'll talk to you guys soon.